Hello there, Seraphim17 once again. This is my Ys VIII Lacrimosa of Dana Inferno walkthrough. This is the final boss of the game, the Theos Endrogram. But before we do that, we have to do some warping around to go to Seren Garden, get the weapon that's going to pierce this Octus, and then the battle's going to commence. The battle is spread between 3 phases and 3 checkpoints, and on each checkpoint you will get the opportunity to re-equip your team. Use this to your advantage, it's going to be super useful. There is a zone here where we fight some enemies, but I'm going to be skipping them, so I'm not going to be talking about this. This is a really good opportunity to grind if you need to, so make sure that you do that if you have to. The boss is going to be level 80, I think, or level 79, something like that. The boss is quite high level. The problem with this fight coming up, guys, the first phase is nothing. The first phase is very fair, very fun, and I have no issue with it. We're going to sail through it. The second phase is horrendous, and I hate it. It's my least favourite boss in the game, probably. There's like 3 bosses in this game that I really don't like, and this is one of them. And then the third phase is really fun and really challenging and really creative and quite unique and very doable, but challenging. But that second phase. During the second phase, you're going to be coming across a lot of projectiles, and because of how fancy the design of this boss and this level is, it makes them really tough to see. When the crystal comes out of the centre of the boss and it starts attacking, it's almost impossible to judge the distance between you and the projectiles. It leads to unnecessary hits and frustration, and it really should have been better. But this is the first phase. It's tentacles just like the Ocean's Anus, so use that to your advantage to get your timings and hit these with Braid's Charger. When the bullets start firing, use them to just give you as much iframes as you can, get those flash guards. And a piece of advice here, guys, do not do what I'm doing now. Kill the tentacles with normal moves and build up SP for the second phase. Not having a full SP tank on this next part is really, really detrimental. But this is the place that always takes me the longest, so the boss releases a bunch of crystals that are going to start attacking you with bullets that are really difficult to judge the distance on. And then the boss itself is going to attack with moves that are suggestively fast, yet look really slow. He has a whole host of strangely telegraphed moves that you have to be very careful of. And then at the end, these 2 crystals will coalesce together, and you want to use your invincibility to kill them as quick as possible. Once you've done this, the boss will release the proper crystal, and this is when things get really awkward. So everything this boss does is hard to see. It's just bullshit. So right now, if you can parry one of these bullets, you can carry invincibility through this full phase and kill this boss really easily because it doesn't have a lot of life. But I can't see where the fucking bullets are going. Can you tell where they're going? Are they above me? Are they below me? Are they at the side of me? It doesn't make sense. And then these ones are just as bad because they're white and you can barely see them. They go through the boss, it glows, it's just... I hate this fight. And it's really frustrating too, because if you land one parry on those projectiles, you can carry the rest of the invincibility through the full fight, and it becomes simple. But this move is really good, because this is the only move you can actually fucking see. So when this one turns up, you're like, oh cool, I can do some damage now, finally. And then boom, back to bullets I can't see. But did you see what I did, guys? Because the boss attacked me, I used it for invincibility, so then I can block the bullets, and as soon as you get to the last life bar, use your extra when you have a crit, and you will kill it with your Adol's extra move, because it does so much damage and it has no life. 1 Brave Charger and you're done. And it looked easy, didn't it? It looked absolutely easy. How could anybody get stuck there? What are you talking about, Chris? That didn't look hard at all. Trust me, guys, that's the worst part of the game when it comes to being able to judge distance and judge depth. It's just really awkward. And it's bad design. That's all it is. You can get used to it, and you might be really good at it, but it doesn't get away from the fact that it should have been better. See that projectile? I can judge the distance on that. Perfect. I'll never get hit by that move. Speaking of moves, this boss has really, really fun and fair moves. The idea here is 3 life bars, 3 elements. Every time you stun him, the boss moves away, changes element, and you want to use the other one. I'm going to use Adol because he's a beast. And then when he moves away, he does this. And this is a massive homage to Ys VII. In Ys VII, this is the only way to flashguard an active move. In this game, you don't need to do it, because you just don't need to. The invincibility makes it way more fun not to do that. It's indeed slower to do that, but it's quite fun to do, so that's why I do it. When the camera pans out, he's going to use this strange wood move. The root traps a character and you can no longer play as them. That move, wait for it for the block. And then whenever the camera pans to the sides, he's going to do either a hook or a straight. All of these moves are really easy to get your guard off of, so guard them and hit the chest. When he backs away, he's going to fire the blue missiles, wait for it, wait for it, wait for it, guard, and then start hitting him again. And then that, if you jump into the red zone, you will be injured, so do not jump right now. Brave Charger does not go high enough to get hit, anything else will. And all of this depends on what the boss does. If the boss gives you a good pattern, this is really fun. Like just then, the boss changes to red, which is what Adol is strong at, which means I'm going to do really, really good damage here. The move you do not want to see is when the boss summons this lightning cloud that follows you everywhere and is active for about 9 years. That is a pain in the ass because you spend most of the fight guarding, but you can also carry invincibility and crits into the next phase, so it works out pretty well. But I get the stun, I do some brave charges for 7,000 damage, and then the boss changes to green and starts trying to dirty box me. And then here it is, guys. It's going to charge up the big blue laser, but I have absolute confidence in blocking this because I can see it. So just wait for it and boom! Start that block. And then just mash the button. Or press it once, press it again, press it again. You can do like 3 guards here and you'll stay invincible for the full thing. You don't have to mash it. Mashing it just makes it feel cool. And you'll notice it gives me SP. The reason I'm doing this is to build my SP. It's only incremental, but it makes a difference. And then he comes back, Brave Charger again. And then be careful of the root. There's the root. That's the thing that steals your player. He's going to do the blue fireballs, so just wait for them. I love this phase because it's fair. If you get hit in this phase, it's your fault. You can control almost all of this, and I'm getting a really good pattern here because the boss isn't using the stupid electricity, and then once you do the extra skill, you've beat the game. And this is pretty sick. Just like the front cover with the 2 characters back to back. But apparently Ys has a fetish for last bosses that are like this, so it's just part of a tradition. And I love the idea of this fight, I just think that the projectile spam in the second phase is a little bit unfair. However, ladies and gentlemen, if you've made it this far, and you've been following the guide, and you've been doing the side quests, you have a whole bunch of game left. You have a couple of areas to traverse, you have a new dungeon to go through, and then you have the true final boss waiting for you. And you will find that fight on the next video, guys. But for the people that just wanted to beat the game, this is where we part ways. So thank you so much for watching, I hope the videos helped you, and as always, you take care now.